It's happening. Gavin Newsom, he just triggered the biggest political backfire of his career. And this time, he might not recover from this one. The ICE raids meant to protect our borders. Gavin Newsom called them reckless and cruel. But what happened next? Federal agents trapped, rioters swarming the streets of Los Angeles. Pam Bondi drops a bombshell that blows Gavin Newsom's narrative to pieces. And while California burns with chaos, who swoops in? Trump allies. One by one, they're stepping into the spotlight, ripping Newsom apart on national television, filing lawsuits and dropping receipts so damning. Even Democrats are starting to panic. And trust me, wait until you hear what Kilmar Abrego Garcia was actually doing behind the scenes while Newsom's team defended him as a family man. Guys, the truth is so disturbing. We had to blur out half the documents just to show you, but it gets worse. Hollywood's leaving. Families are fleeing, and now Gavin Newsom's trying to pull the plug on federal taxes. You can't make this stuff up, guys. Folks, this is not just a backlash. This is a full-blown political reckoning, and it's game over for Gavin Newsom. So stick with me because we're about to show you guys. We're going to cover things that you're not going to see on CNN, and Newsom definitely does not want you to see this. So let's get into exactly how this entire ICE nightmare started unraveling for Gavin Newsom, because it doesn't just blow up in his face. It exposed everything that was completely wrong with his so-called leadership. You know what I mean? Gavin Newsom, he took to the cameras to condemn ICE agents and raids as quote unquote reckless and cruel. He essentially claimed these operators were all about meeting arbitrary arrest quotas, not public safety. Then he tried to pin the whole thing, the federal sweep, the protests, the backlash on Donald Trump, accusing him of eroding trust and tearing families apart. But here's the problem, folks. ICE wasn't out there dragging random people off for no reason. They were targeting violent criminals, cartel-connected smugglers, and repeat border offenders. And while Trump's DHS tried to clean up the streets, Gavin Newsom was more concerned about optics, not safety, not law, not families. He chose to stand with the chaos, and that choice ignited the firestorm. Within hours of Newsom's statement, the streets of Los Angeles descended into complete anarchy. Thousands of radical protesters swarmed downtown, BLM, Antifa, and a new militant group called Union del Barrio. This is the Mexican version of BLM. Their Facebook posts literally called ICE terrorists and then demanded an emergency protest. And where did this mob go? They went straight to the federal ICE facility, completely surrounding it, trapping agents inside. I mean, I can't even show you the worst of it on YouTube, but let me just tell you that the footage is on X and it's chilling. Agents were blocked from leaving. Rioters attempted to swarm their vehicles like a colony of fire ants attacking prey. And what did Mayor Karen Bass do of Los Angeles? Well, she told LAPD to stand down. She just let it happen. She left federal agents defenseless. Only after hours of being under siege did riot police finally intervene. And the aftermath? Graffiti everywhere, windows smashed, signs reading "Death to Colonial America" and "F Trump" littered the streets. Downtown LA looked like a war zone. But here's a twist Gavin never saw coming. Because the man at the center of all of this, the so-called innocent father ICE had deported, he's not who the Democrats said he was. And when Pam Bondi dropped the receipts, the narrative, it just collapsed. The entire narrative collapsed, in fact. I mean, we're about to break all of this down for you guys, and I want to reveal exactly why President Trump's team is now calling this a textbook political trap. Now, guys, Medicare shouldn't be something that you have to figure out on your own. Marianne Comey, she said, "Chapter is fantastic. My guy Vance is a hero in my eyes." Jamie from Texas saved $600 after getting expert help from Chapter's team. You don't have to guess, guys. You don't have to settle either. You just need the right people in your corner. Give our friends at Chapter a call right now. Phone number is 909-563-8279, or better yet, hit them up on their website at askchapter.org/Ron. The help is there, guys. Take it. So, while Gavin Newsom stood with the rioters and turned his back on federal agents, the Trump team saw an opportunity and they took it. Because what started as a PR stunt for the left, it just turned into a political landmine, and Gavin stepped right on it. So President Trump wasted no time. He dropped the hammer with both hands. We will be withholding all federal funds from any sanctuary city or state, including California. That is a direct quote. Trump made it crystal clear. If you block ICE, if you shelter fugitives, if you stand with mobs instead of law enforcement, you'll pay for it. And let's be honest, this is something he's been warning about to California for months. The executive orders, the threats to revoke funding, and now the situation in LA handed him the justification on a silver platter. This wasn't just enforcement. This was strategy. And Gavin, he walked right into it. You remember the guy Democrats were defending from the beginning? Kilmar Abrego Garcia. They called him a family man, a victim of Trump's cruelty, a father torn from his children, right? CNN covered it. Influencers like Brian Krasestein, he called it a triumph of justice when DHS brought him back to the U.S. Well, I think they celebrated a little bit too soon, because just hours after Garcia touched down in the U.S., Pam Bondi and the DOJ dropped the receipts. And what they revealed, absolutely horrifying. Garcia is being charged with child trafficking, transporting minor children for profit, ties to the 2021 migrant mass death in Mexico, smuggling women, drugs, and firearms, soliciting, we'll skip this one for now because that'll probably get us demonetized, involvement of the murder of a rival gang member's mother. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Pam Bondi, she laid it all out for us. This man traded the innocence of children for profit. His smuggling ring is responsible for dozens of deaths. He is a danger to our communities. So let's recap this thing, shall we? So Gavin Newsom blocked ICE from doing their job. Democrats lobbied to get this guy back into the U.S. They then posted selfies, toasted margaritas. And then, like now, the man that they defended is being charged as a violent predator. Somebody please, again, tell me who's reckless and cruel here. And just when you thought Newsom couldn't look any weaker, Stephen Hilton, he takes the gloves off live on Fox News, and he exposes the cowardice that's defined Newsom's entire political career, guys, from ICE to women's sports to taxes. Hilton and other Trump allies, they're not holding back here. Now that the ICE narrative has completely collapsed, you would think that Gavin Newsom might finally admit that he miscalculated, but instead he's doubling down and he's exposing even more of his own weaknesses. And this is where it starts spiraling out of control, well beyond immigration. Let's not forget, this is not a one-time blunder. This is a pattern now. While Trump issued a clear executive order banning biological males from competing in girls' sports, Newsom, who previously admitted that policy was deeply unfair, he did absolutely nothing. He stayed silent. He refused to act. He let young women across the state continue to compete under a system that he himself said was broken. Steve Hilton, he wasn't having it though. He traveled to Fresno County, stood on the track next to female athletes and said, look, when I'm governor, this will stop. The current policy violates Californians' own constitution, and if they don't fix it, I'll sue. So, well, why won't Gavin Newsom just take the stand then, right? Because he's trapped. That's why he won't do it. He's trapped. The radical flank of his own party controls him, and he knows that if he even hints at crossing them, his future's toast. And speaking of Hilton, his takedown of Newsom was devastating, guys. You know what's chaotic? An open border, homeless encampments, criminals running the streets. That's Gavin Newsom's California. Oh, and he didn't stop there. Hilton mocked Newsom's latest proposal that Californians should stop paying federal taxes to protest. That's right, guys. Gavin's solution to being exposed, is being exposed as weak and ineffective at this point. And so he's basically clowning Gavin Newsom's solution and basically saying, like, Is his solution to start a tax rebellion against the federal government? That's not leadership. That's straight up desperation. Hilton called it a childish stunt from a man more interested in pandering to activists than protecting families and enforcing the law. And here's the part Newsom's team should be terrified of. This message, it's sticking, not just with conservatives, but with independents and even some fed up Democrats who feel abandoned by the California machine. And now it's not just voters who are fleeing Newsom's California. It's entire industries. Hollywood is leaving. Small businesses are dying out there. Families are packing up in record numbers. You probably know someone who's moved from California, right? And you're not going to believe this brutal nickname LA just earned after this latest collapse. You ever feel like your life looks fine on the outside, but then deep down, something's off? You're doing everything right, or you think you are. You're showing up to work, you're paying your bills, being responsible, but you're anxious, right? You're still anxious. You're still exhausted, still wondering why time just keeps slipping through your fingers. That's not failure. That's the system working exactly as it was designed. You're not supposed to thrive in the 9-to-5 grind. You're supposed to obey. But, if you're ready to flip the script and you're finally ready to start living life on your own terms, you're not alone. The Liberty Pursuit Network is exactly where that change starts. Click the link in the pinned comment or in the description down below to join today, escape the 9-to-5 grind, and get your freedom back right now. So the ICE raid blew up. Newsom, he stood on the wrong side. Trump allies pounced. And here's where it all starts snowballing, because the backlash isn't just political anymore. It's economic, it's cultural, and it's spreading like wildfire across California. Let's be real, guys. People are fleeing California in droves. And it's not just about politics, it's about survival. Under Newsom's leadership, housing is unaffordable. Rent is through the roof. If you happen to live in California or you know someone who does, how much is rent out there right now? Gas is nearing $7 in some areas, with projections that it could hit $8 per gallon next year. Electricity prices are soaring. Crime is out of control. Homelessness is out of control. And small businesses are being suffocated by red tape and taxes. And now even Hollywood is hitting the eject button. That's right, guys. Movie and television production is packing up and leaving. A new report just compared Los Angeles to Detroit, suggesting that the entertainment capital of the world may become the next economic wasteland if this continues. Now, guys, you have studios moving to Texas. You have studios moving to Georgia, Florida. Even Canada is scooping up productions that used to belong to California. And behind the scenes, industry insiders are blaming union strikes, hostile policies, and skyrocketing costs, all enabled by Democratic rule. And while Gavin Newsom is fumbling at every level, Trump's allies are stepping up with bold solutions. Steve Hilton, now a very serious contender for governor, he's not just complaining. He's got a plan that's resonating. $3 gas, a lawsuit to end gender ideology in women's sports, real law and order with actual support for ICE and federal enforcement. And here's what's even more powerful. He's not alone. Conservative media is rallying. Independent influencers are hammering Newsom's failures. Even some local Democrats are going radio silent, hoping the spotlight shifts away from them. The narrative is slipping out of Gavin Newsom's control, and the backlash is starting to look irreversible. But here's the final nail in the coffin. Because Gavin Newsom's been quietly grooming himself for a 2028 presidential run. But after this ICE disaster, the Hollywood exodus, and Trump's team humiliating him at every turn, those dreams just shattered. Now, what comes next could absolutely destroy his national career for good, guys. At first, Gavin Newsom, he thought he could weather it, just stick it out, so to speak. A little media spin here and there, a little virtue signal there, and maybe people would just forget. But this time, it's different, because this ICE backlash has done more than expose his leadership failures. It's completely demolished his national ambitions. Let's not sugarcoat it, guys. This this was literally the moment that Gavin Newsom was supposed to shine. He was carefully crafting a national image, slick, car salesman-like, confident, progressive, but practical, quietly positioning himself as the fallback if Biden steps aside or stumbles, right? Stumbles, yeah. But when it came time to lead, guys, he stood with violent protesters, not federal officers. He defended a man later charged with trafficking children and arms for MS-13. He let his cities burn while blaming Trump. And when challenged to defend girls' sports, he folded like a cheap suit. This is not presidential material, guys. It's not even gubernatorial. It's disqualifying. And now the optics are unfixable. You got viral clips out here of Steve Hilton ripping him apart, Pam Bondi exposing his failures on national TV, Trump polling higher in deep blue parts of California. Even Elon Musk is chiming in, guys. Even Michael Cohen, Trump's former fixer, came out to clear Trump's name on Epstein, while Newsom's team was busy celebrating a cartel-connected felon. This was not just a scandal. This was a political execution. And, you know, it wasn't even done by Trump alone. It was the entire America First movement there, swooping in, coordinated, ruthless, and effective. So when you hear people say Gavin Newsom is the future of the Democratic Party, remind them of this week: the riots, the lies, the ICE trap, the exodus, and the total collapse of a carefully crafted narrative, because the backlash isn't just real, it's permanent. And for Gavin Newsom, it's game over. Now, if you made it this far in the video, hit the like button, share this video, and leave a comment below. Do you think Gavin Newsom still has a shot in 2028, or was this the moment that everything changed? Oh, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel, because we're not done holding the elite accountable, guys. We'll see you next time.